I want to put a disclaimer before I say anything, before I, let my mouth loose and say whatever the hell I'm talking about. The topic I'm talking about, I am not fully educated on. I'm not a professional reporter. I have not done any actual fulfilling research on the topic or the topics I will probably end up talking about. Nothing I say will be factual, and please do not take it that way. It is purely an opinion-based statement based on what I know of the facts that have been made public to everyone, including myself, and what I've seen. If I say anything wrong, please let me know in the comments, because I genuinely want to get a better perspective on this. And if you could help me out in doing so, rather than getting all hissy pissy like I know the VTuber community tends to do. It would be very appreciated if you could constructively tell me if I've said anything wrong, or if my opinion is maybe lacking. I would appreciate that, because I do want to get a better scope on what is going on. Now, the Selen Tatsuki termination notice is kind of a heavy, not really heavy topic, but a very, I think, could be controversial topic between the Nijisanji fans and anyone else viewing from the outside. It's a very recent topic, and it's one that I'm not necessarily fully educated on. The facts that I do know is that Selen Tatsuki was hospitalized during December. I believe it was December of last year, and took some time off of social media. Nijisanji put out a tweet posing as Selen Tatsuki after she was supposedly feeling better and discharged, saying that she was okay and that she would be back soon. I think I may be incorrect on that last part, that she would be back soon, but I do know that Nijisanji did make the tweet for her on her account, and at the same time took away her access to her social media, being her YouTube and her Twitter and anything of the sorts. And she everything kind of stayed radio silent from Selen Tatsuki for a while. RPR, I know it was RPR and some other friends were reaching out who weren't in Nijisanji, or even those in Nijisanji, I'm not exactly sure, asking where the hell Selen was, because she was supposed to be back soon. And then a couple weeks after, the public received the termination notice for Selen Tatsuki's contract with Nijisanji and Anycolor. And it was a very poorly, and it was a very, very poorly written contract, at least from the English side. It may not have been as poorly written in the original Japanese. And if it wasn't, the translation definitely did not do it any favors. And it definitely seemed very poorly written, especially to everyone and all the Niji fans. And I know that a lot of people are backing Selen in this case because they believe that what Niji has done is wrong. And I too believe that. I believe, with the facts that I know, that Nijisanji should be held responsible for what has happened. Apparently, according to Selen Tatsuki, there were instances of bullying and that kind of behavior from inside of Nijisanji, from staff. I do not believe she said that there was any from any livers, and I believe a lot of Nijisanji livers came out and spoke against the allegations that there may be one of them who was bullying Selen from the inside and not in the public eye. I know that Selen has come out of this in a very, very good regard. She tried to end the contract with Nijisanji on good terms. She reached out with her lawyer to try and make it neutral and have graduation and whatnot, and was basically told to fuck off by Nijisanji. As far as she knew, she apparently, I know she said that she didn't receive notice that she was being terminated until like maybe a couple hours before Nijisanji released the statement to the public. And I think that's wrong. Today I found out that it is possible. I'm not sure how true it is, but that Nijisanji broke a signed contract to not disclose private information, including the reasons as to why she was hospitalized in the termination notice, and broke that contract. And I did see the CEO's video responding to the allegations. And I know that he kind of danced around the topic. Nijisanji definitely isn't handling this well. As far as I know, they're not handling it well, and it really puts into perspective for you the trust that shouldn't be granted to agencies. I feel especially those from Japan. Japanese idol agencies, VTuber or IRL, are very well known for being not the greatest and mistreating their talents. And because of the Japanese work etiquette and work environment, a lot of times these agencies overwork their staff and their idols, and it can tend to lead to a breaking point, I feel. I don't know. I personally don't know of any other cases like this. I'm sure there are many out there. And I definitely will do some proper research on that probably eventually, because I do want to get more educated on this topic. But I know that because of this, a lot of people are marketing or claiming that Nijisanji has become a black company, which is a title that I feel is mainly given to those Japanese companies because of the working conditions in Japan and the command structure, I guess I suppose is a way to say it. And I feel that this type of thing probably isn't uncommon in Japan, but especially for the English audience and especially the American kind of point of view of things, it is very wrong. And personally, I think it's dehumanizing the way that Niji is handling this, or lack thereof. I know that the day after they announced Selen's termination, they made a merch announcement, which is definitely not the kind of thing that you want to do in this situation. I don't know what the choice was, or why the choice was made to do such thing. And it makes me feel sad for Selen. I know she's doing well now, and I know she's handling it like a champ. Her and her lawyer are doing very well in this, and they're basically going with Nijisanji. Their whole point is to like not reveal like all this information and kind of keep it more private. But as Nijisanji keeps basically saying "nuh-uh" to each statement made towards them, they are responding in kind, as appropriately as needed. And this is definitely going to affect Nijisanji negatively. I know that when they were initially asked about how Selen's termination would affect the company financially, and they said that the effect would be negligible. The CEO today, or not today, whenever it was that it was recorded, but he responded and said that negligible was not the right word to use, and that they do actually care for their talents and their talents' well-being. However, I think if you look at the past and with Selen's situation, that definitely wasn't the case. They say that they will be working towards creating a more open environment to help their other livers mentally. And I think that statement made is a lot of bullshit on Nijisanji's part by the CEO. And if you look at the CEO's video, it is most definitely scripted, and it's not really a surprise. These kinds of things definitely would be scripted to some degree. But he's very obviously reading it, and I feel it makes it made the delivery to me feel a lot less personable and a lot less caring. And the CEO barely looked at the camera at all while he was talking. I feel with a situation like this, it's better to speak more so from the heart and the knowledge that you know, rather than from a piece of paper behind the camera. And it makes me, it really puts into perspective agencies in general. I think Japanese agencies are kind of the more extreme example of these kinds of situations. I feel like agencies, VTuber agencies like Vishojo, like more English planted agencies, VTuber agencies, or even like boy banders agencies or something like that. I think more English grounded agencies wouldn't necessarily have this kind of problem, or at least not to this degree. Obviously, there haven't been any allegations or anything against agencies like Vishojo yet. So we have yet to see if that is true. But as it stands right now, it makes you wonder if people are going to start looking at these Japanese VTuber and idol agencies a lot differently, especially after these allegations have come out. It is kind of funny. A couple days ago, before I found out about the situation, I was kind of thinking to myself that if I ever did start making growth on this platform or any platform with streaming and VTubing, that it would be a wise decision to join an agency or attempt to join an agency to kind of understand what that end of the field is like. And after gaining this information, I think I definitely am going to abandon that, at least for now, because it seems like agencies are too much work than what they're worth. And it's better to just be an indie VTuber who has their own schedule, their own management team geared towards them, and is able to make their own decisions and everything like that. Because this kind of situation is one that shouldn't happen. I think it's definitely one that unfortunately needed to happen. And if that makes you, if you don't like that I said that, then I'm sorry, but I definitely think that this kind of thing needed to happen for the VTuber community to kind of progress and grow a little bit. Because I don't think we've seen anything like this to this degree before. And it definitely will put things into perspective for a lot of people. Some more information that I do know is that Selen did for her projects under Nijisanji's watchful vision or lack thereof, had to spend $200,000 plus, I think, out of her own pocket for any projects that she wanted to do throughout last year. I feel as though with the kind of money that Nijisanji is worth, I think they're worth over $2 billion. That is not something that should be happening. Having your talent that you are responsible for and supposed to be taking care of, pay for any project out of their own pocket fully, feels wrong, and it definitely shouldn't be happening. I think she said she spent like $15,000 on a project alone. And with how many, if you pull out so many projects in a year, it's not a very good financial way of looking at it to have to do all of that out of your own pocket, especially when you work for someone who is supposed to be helping you with these kinds of things and kind of giving you some support, as an agency should do. I think Nijisanji will. I'm hopeful that if Nijisanji continues, if they don't burn out in a boiling flame, I hope they learn from this and definitely take some ideas and maybe take some ideas from like Western companies and agencies to better pick their staff, a better crackdown on inside human resources allegations and actions, especially if it's threatening to your talents, and even not just alone to the talents. If other staff, I 100% am on board for if other staff are going through the same thing, that they deserve the same amount of respect and help to deal with these situations, because they are a part of your corporation. I do unfortunately think that Any Color is not going to change and is not going to learn from this, especially given their responses to the allegations being thrown at them throughout the past few days. It feels as though Nijisanji will probably end up dying out. At least the EN branch will die out. I think that's what's going to happen. Because I think a lot of people in the EN in the Nijisanji EN fan base are super upset with Nijisanji, rightfully so, and are throwing their full support towards Selen to help deal with the situation. And I'm with them. I support Selen over Nijisanji. I never really got into Nijisanji. I didn't really know a lot of their members or any of their content or anything, but knowing the information that I know about Japanese companies from what I've heard in the past, and the information given to us as this entire thing has been unfolding, I am 100% with Selen on this in this case, and will not support Nijisanji in any way. I never have, and I never will. And I really hope that not only the CEO, but all of the management, upper management at Nijisanji and Any Color, learn from this incident these past 2 days, because what has been done is very wrong in my opinion, and should not happen again. So that's my take on this whole Selen Tatsuki Nijisanji kind of skedaddle, I guess, or not skedaddle, but a scandal. And once again, if I've said anything wrong or anything that isn't necessarily factual or something that I may be misinformed on, please 100% constructively let me know. I don't want to turn this into a shouting match. And if you do make it into a shouting match and start throwing insults and whatever for no apparent reason, I'm not going to respond to that. But I do want to become more informed on this topic and the topic of Black companies and agencies in Japan in general. So if I've said anything wrong, please do let me know, because above anything else, I do want to be properly informed. And once again, anything I said is not factual. This is fully opinion based. So please do not take it as factual. And if you want to look into the facts of it, I encourage you to look into it yourself through the various options that you have to do so. And yeah, I guess just thanks for listening to what I had to say on this.